Diddy coming home drunk.
Make love to me. You were fast asleep. You wouldn't even talk to me. You said I'm so crazy. Coming home intoxicated. I said just won't love you.
I just wanna love you, baby.
I guess that's why I'm so elated. Come on, girl, give it to me, baby.
Yo, I don't even know what to say about that, except the internet is off the rails. Thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. The other day when I dropped my video that was basically looking at Big Joe, some people were not pleased with how I approached the story. So let's take a minute to talk about it. One person came in the comment section and they were like, "These old day videos, I'm unfollowing this side of The Source. You'll never be celeb." Okay, so first off, newsflash, I'm not celeb. And two, when you're actually covering a story that occurred back in the day in 1991, sometimes it's better to look at primary sources instead of showing the same video clips that everybody on YouTube is showing. For example, if I'm telling you a story about 9/11 in the World Trade Center, I'm going to show you the World Trade Center instead of showing you a video of Tasha K talking about the World Trade Center. Now, after that viewer said that, another viewer whose name I will not disclose jumped into the comment section and wrote, "I don't understand. What is the point of this video? I usually love your content, but you just nitpicking at somebody's choices no matter how cringe it may be. Seems unnecessarily invasive. At the end of the day, these girls are here at their own free will. They don't seem scared, sad, or in any sort of distress. You should stick to the facts and stop trying to draw at straws. It just seems very unnecessary because it's like you're not really proving anything. This type of stuff has been going on forever and it'll always go on." Okay, so you brought up a whole bunch of different things, so let's address one thing at a time. As far as the video being invasive, I didn't break into Big Joe's house and steal his secret flash drive and then shimmy down the side of his house and then jump in my Batmobile and rush to my secret lab where I concocted a whole lot of news about Big Joe and then jumped on my computer and then posted on a secret black market website. This is stuff that was already on the internet, and guess what? He posted it there himself. And you know something else? 99.8% of the clips that I used in my video were already on YouTube. And you know how I know that? Because similar to the next clip that I'm getting ready to show you, I got the clips off of YouTube.
The camera want to see that. They want you right. You look right. Your shit is good.
Look at that.
Look at this. These is no cellulites, no butt implant. This is from Russia. No, I like Nicki Minaj. I got nothing to say.
But that's real.
Ooh, the dick smell good. Real. This is what happens when you want to see Cameron, Jim Jones, Jewels, Big Joe, New Era Management. You must let us feel. Nah, it's just like this, man. I stand up. You can come see a show. It's like you don't disrespect all women. You disrespect groupies, B. You know what I mean? That's how you. What up, cuz?
All three of them with you?
I grab all their asses, but
No, wait, hold on.
where you going?
My boss, hold on.
Who's your boss? I always stick my fingers up their ass. Yo, don't nobody hate. They got their ass up. Let them go in. Don't block them. Let them go in. It's my shit. Let them go in. Let them go. Yes.
Okay, source, really quick, stop the tape, pause, because this is really important. As you can see, in the video, Big Joe had his hands all up on one chick's Cinnabons, and that chick seemed to be fine with it. But as soon as he got finished touching her Cinnabons, he immediately grabbed the arm of the next chick and was getting ready to put his hands on her Cinnabons. But she did the quick maneuver and was like, "Yo, my boss is right there," because she didn't want to be touched, and she also wanted Joe to release his clutch. Now I know, somebody's gonna come in the comment section like, "Yo, Source, you wildin' out right now. Stop acting like a nun. You know how people got down in the 90s. That was part of hip-hop culture." Yes, it was. And perhaps that was part of the problem, because a lot of these hip-hop artists like Diddy and the members of their entourages believed that it was okay to disrespect women and violate their bodies as long as they perceived them to be jump-offs. And for everybody out there who's like, "Source, what the heck is a jump-off?" Jump-offs are the chicks who really don't mind every dude jumping on and off of them real quick. And sometimes, like we just saw in that clip, some dudes have a very difficult time distinguishing between women who are jump-offs and women who are not. Listen, let me know in the comment section below. Is the fact that Big Joe is in that club grabbing every woman by the Cinnabons just part of hip-hop culture? Or do you think, nah, Sauce, Big Joe's behavior in that club is a little thirsty and a little problematic? Listen, let me know in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, back to what I was saying before, to the person who jumped in my comment section talking about Sauce, you're invading Big Joe's privacy. Listen, you know what my response is to that? If you don't want somebody on the internet to come along and post videos of you touching cheeks and sniffing fingers because it makes you look bad, then guess what? You shouldn't have posted it on the internet in the first place. So that shuts down the whole invasive part. And if you think that I, the Sauce, am just gonna ignore the dude who was telling chicks that they could come through the door once he grabbed their cheeks, oh boy, you don't know the Sauce. Now, as far as like the nitpicking thing, let me tell you something. When a dude is accused of being part of a crime syndicate that is out here allegedly victimizing children as young as 9 years old, you damn skippy, we're gonna nitpick. I'm gonna pick so much knit that you're gonna be able to knit a new sweater for Christmas with all the nitpicking that I'm gonna do. For example, I'm always gonna look into the dude that claims that as Diddy's bodyguard, he only went to one white party in the Hamptons in 1999, as if he was some contracted 1099 bodyguard who was only brought in every now and again to work a few events for Puffy, when the same dude also said that he was so close to Puffy that he used to hold Diddy and J-Lo's bag worth $10 million in jewels when Diddy and J-Lo used to jump on planes and gallivant around the world. He also said that he was so close to Diddy that he practically raised his kids. Also said that he was mad close with a dude named Sub who used to come to the location where he was at to videotape the porn stars, and also said that he was so grimy back in the day that he used to take artists bling bling to Jacob the jeweler to find out if their jewels were real or fake, and then he would videotape the whole exchange so he could use the videos to expose those same rappers later in his book. But here's the thing, unlike a lot of people on YouTube, I back up everything that I say with receipts. Source, can you please show the people out there the receipts to back up every word that I just said?
I want to see receipts.
I ain't never robbed no nigga. For real. I got artists. Puffy used to give me, him and Jennifer Lopez gave me a box of jewelry with $10 million in the box. All jewelry, my nigga. And they used to go on planes and came back, everything was there. Ask them. When you see Sean Combs, ask them. Everybody think it's negative, it's all this. But when you read it, you're gonna be like, oh shit. People don't know the real hair. Everybody write what they want to write, but that's why I'm not talking about what I'm writing. I built my hype. I built my shit. There's a lot of shit about a lot of artists I gotta write about. For real. So if they didn't trust me, I was an asshole. I was worse than. Puff said, yo, here's my jewelry box. Take it. Bam. Jennifer Lopez, here's my jewelry box. Take it. Bam. That was $5 million each box, my nigga.
And he shared his knowledge.
And he shared his knowledge, and I just ran with it. Some used to come to the joint and shoot the porn stars. Some was the man. Sub did all that. Matter of fact, Sub is the one who got me to beat with Puff. And I was just talking, you know, my man, God bless his dead, Wolf got killed. And I just, Sub was telling me, I thought his camera was off, and I said, man, you faggot ass nigga, I'm just telling this shit, it was too late. I started the board, so then I decided just to do what Puff taught me. I went into my van and just kept it going to keep my name out there. But it was never no real beef. Like, I raised his kids. Like, I had Jetson and them when they was born, taking the football games. You could have a million years I wouldn't disrespect or fight Puff. On the internet, it's business. I'll never be ungood, but I'm not on that lane no more. I moved to the left. But do I respect him? I will always respect him. Like, he gave me $250 a day to do security. Yeah. That's all I got.
Straight up. Security with Puff. Check out that Black King.
Black King, follow the Instagrams.
Thanks,
Now they
Joe.
round and dimes.
I used to take you niggas jewelry to Jacob. I know 75% of you niggas don't. Let me tell you how grimy I was. When I took your jewelry into Jacob, I used to video your jewelry. I used to ask the guy, Joe, is that real? No, Joe, that's the Konix. Name him. I'm not gonna name him yet because they'll fuck the book up. Yeah, you gotta get that book, man.
Now, Big Joe also wrote, honor is what I preach. People that know me know what I stand for. That's why this issue is so sad. I have now worked for Bad Boy since 1999. I was called to get Jennifer Lopez out of jail. Wait till you see who the puppet master is. Now, the reason why this particular statement caught my eye is because J-Lo and Diddy got arrested on December 27th, 1999, and J-Lo didn't get picked up from jail until December 28th, 1999. So, unless Big Joe picked up J-Lo from jail, brought her home, and then immediately was like, that's it, I quit, then Big Joe was working for Diddy a little past 1999 into the 2000s. And he just wasn't just another bodyguard, he was one of Diddy's most trusted bodyguards, because Diddy was only gonna let somebody that he trusts pick up J-Lo from jail after she allegedly watched him pow Natalia Rubin in the face. So, we're not looking into some dude who was standing on the periphery by the fence with a walkie-talkie at a Diddy party. We're talking about one of Diddy's most trusted inside men. And we also know that even though Big Joe made it seem like he cut ties with Diddy in 1999, that's not true, because Big Joe, also known as G.I. Joe, was actually in the Black Rob Like Whoa video, which was shot later on in like 2000.
Play yourself, I get the G.I. Joe.
That's him. That's Joe. Boom. Is she lying? Is she lying? Is she lying? That's G.I. Joe. That's Big Joe. Let's run it back just one time. Let's run it back.
Play yourself, I get the G.I. Joe.
That's him. That's Big Joe. What year did Will come out? Came out 2000. He's in the Black Rob video. So yeah, he was employed by Diddy. The fuck you mean? Yeah, he was employed clearly.
Now, just to be fair, and y'all know I like to be fair, just because Big Joe was in a Like Whoa video does not mean that he was still contractually employed to Diddy, but it does show that he was still running with the crew. And last but not least, you said, this stuff has been going on forever and it's going to continue to go on. Do you not understand that that's what we're actually over here trying to stop? When Chris Hansen did his interview with Tony Busby, the attorney for the 120 alleged victims, Tony Busby said that Diddy was like an octopus, and he used his tentacles, like his personal assistants, his A&Rs, and his bodyguards, to go out and recruit people that he could eventually abuse, including people who had less than 18 birthday candles on their birthday cake.
25 of the 120. Talking about, and you would think that we're talking about females, but I was surprised because I just expected these were all females, but of the 120 people, half are males. We have a young man who was 9 years old at the time this occurred.
9 years old, Mr. Busby.
9 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, a 15-year-old, with one exception, young men who were trying to break into the industry. Essentially, his parents responded to some sort of advertisements. Somebody was recruiting young people to break into the industry, and he made the various screening mechanisms they had, and him along with 4 other boys went, and his parents essentially handed him off to Sean Combs. And they alleged that they handed him off, and Sean Combs had his way with this child by coercing him and pressuring him and promising him things. Just devastated this young man's life. It was his dream to be a musician. Doesn't want to have anything to do with music. Of course, his parents have shame and guilt because they helped facilitate that. And that's kind of a typical story of what we're talking about here.
One last question. What does this say about this particular segment of the music industry that, as you have said and has been proved,
I call it the facilitators? Obviously the people that participated in this are terrible. It's terrible actions and terrible conduct and should be prosecuted and put underneath the jail. Are the people that saw this happening, that enjoyed themselves while it was happening, that fancied themselves as upstanding people and knew this was happening and continued to go to these parties knowing this was going to happen, and whether they can be criminally charged or even civilly sued. These people should know that they knew and they didn't do anything about it.
Now, just so we're clear, I didn't accuse Big Joe of anything, and I didn't say he was guilty of anything. What I said was, some of these clips look a little sus. What do y'all think? Now, with that being said, let me reintroduce myself. Even even though I laugh and have fun on this channel, I'm a grown behind woman who's very serious. And if I have to make the choice between making a grown behind man with coping skills a little uncomfortable by simply reposting videos that he originally posted online and then asking my viewers 3 simple questions pertaining to said videos in order to potentially save a group of kids, women, and men from getting hard and having to spend the rest of their life dealing with that emotional trauma and potentially having to like go to therapy for like the next 50 years, I'ma do it a day, all day, and twice on Sundays. Now, I'm not stupid, I wasn't born yesterday. What made people uncomfortable about the video about Big Joe is that Big Joe is not the big name celebrity. If I had made that same exact video about P.Diddy, R. Kelly, Jeffrey Epstein, or Harvey Weinstein, you wouldn't care less. The issue here is that it seems as if we're talking about the average Joe. But let me tell you this, Big Joe stopped being the average Joe once he was publicly implicated for allegedly R-ing a young woman in Diddy's studio. Now, Big Joe, who I will say once again is innocent until proven guilty or proven liable in a court of law, was given one of the largest platforms in the world, NBC News 4 New York, which broadcasts to millions of people to present his case. Therefore, it's absolutely fair game for me, who gets at most like 100K viewers on a good day, to explore who this man is when the news cameras aren't on. Now I know, somebody's gonna come in the comment section like, yeah, but Source, you ain't show all the good stuff that Joe does. Listen, I'm sure that on some days, Big Joe is a very upstanding individual who feeds the homeless and also gives stray cats bowls of milk. But that's not what we're talking about here. We are exploring whether or not Big Joe Sherman had the potential and capacity to be part of Diddy's underground criminal enterprise in which he physically violated individuals who did not want to get physical with him. Now, just so we're clear, we're not the only YouTube channel who are out here asking these particular questions and exploring the background of Big Joe, because credible sources don't just regurgitate information, but they actually look into things.
Who the hell is Joseph Big Joe Sherman? Now, we understand that after he left Bad Boy Records as a bodyguard, he went on to start his own businesses. He runs a bunch of magazines, one that's called Rhymes and Dimes. I understand now that he also distributes graphic material. Is he one of the guys that helped distribute these videos? Because you've got to remember, there's been a lot of freak off tapes that Diddy was making. Is Big Joe Sherman one of the people that's helping him distribute this type of stuff onto the dark web?
Alright, so let's break this down. When you find out things like that about a person who's being accused of videotaping somebody and circulating a video on the dark web, you just can't ignore the fact that the person actually turns out to be someone who circulates videos on the dark web. Now, going back to the viewer's comment, they were like, yo, this has been going on forever and it's going to continue to go on. Okay. If you had read the text messages that were shown on News 4 New York, you would see that Thalia Graves, in her text that she originally sent to Big Joe, also acknowledged the groupieism and copious amounts of X that like celebrities were having back in the 90s. But you may not have seen it because the news channel scrolled past that part of the text mad quick. So let's go back and look at it. And shout out to the Down the Rabbit Hole podcast for actually doing this part for me so I don't have to like reinvent the wheel and do it again.
Sherman showed us texts from an Instagram account starting last November. He said
last November. Now, I do think she did mention in the lawsuit that she reached out to Joe. She said she reached out. That's not a lie. She said so out of her own. She said that she wanted the video removed. That's why she reached out to Joe. She said it, okay? It's not a lie. She put that out there. So here we go. Let me show you this one. This one's going to be easier so we can read some of these messages that was sent. Let's go to...
There were no
messages that were mentioned. Was it this one? Here it is. November 29th. Hey, were you a security guard for Puff? LOL, who are you? Okay, it's the message.
Security guard for Puffy.
She confused me because she kept saying, "Are you Big Joe?"
But that was his name. His name is Joseph Sherman. She said, man, your mama didn't call you Big Joe. All right.
I said, "You're on my Instagram."
When she asked, "Are you Big Joe?" what did that mean to you?
That means that she don't know who I am.
No, that means that she's asking you, "Are you Big Joe?" If your account is Rhymes and Dimes brand, she's asking you, are you Big Joe? Doesn't mean that she doesn't know who you are. She's asking, are you this person? That's it. And then she says here, please call at 972 number, right? Now, when she says this, she actually mentioned this in the lawsuit. She mentioned it. She tried to call him to work something out because she had found out there's a video about her that this man was showing around.
Text asked him to call the number and goes on to say,
okay, now this is why I wanted to pause. Let's read this. Like I explained before, if you will be my witness against Diddy, then my attorneys will leave you out of any proceedings because we have statements that you physically showed over 8 people videos of me and you, here it is, of me and you to people in the studio. There are 8 people who saw a video of Talia being physically assaulted, sexually assaulted. He said it doesn't mean she doesn't know you, bro. That's right. It could be like misidentification. We don't know. That's true. And that's why I'm like, well, she's messaging you to find out if you like you're this is you. You worked at Bad Boy, right? Or whatever it might have been at that time. I get that. And he did. She didn't lie. He did work at Bad Boy. Now, did he work there in 2000? Was it a different Joe? I don't think so. I think it's the same Joe. There are people that 8 witnesses who saw a video of this situation go down. Yeah, I'm just saying. Here's the problem. It sounds like Talia wanted to make sure that she was talking to the right person and not a scammer or something like that. It was like, hey, here is your chance. Otherwise, I'm moving forward. Right, Jay? That's how I understood it. And he's mad about it. That's right. So I think he saw this kind of coming, right? That's how I see it. She just wanted a confirmation it was him before she gave out her private number. That's how I see it. Anyway, so this is what she says on those messages, trying to confirm if this is the Joe. All right, so let me make myself smaller. And it says that they have statements that you physically showed over 8 people videos of me and you to people in the studio.
If you will be my witness against Diddy, then my attorneys will leave you out of any proceedings because we have statements that you physically showed over 8 people, videos of me and you to people in the studio.
Oh, hold on. Now she goes really, really fast here. So that you showed over 8 people videos of me and you to people in the studio. So if you are willing to give me a statement about my R against Puffy, then the attorney won't go after you for revenge porn or distribution of a sexual act without consent. That's why I ask you to call me. Okay. So Talia's saying that her attorney, who's Gloria Allred, basically said, like, listen, if you're willing to testify against Diddy, I also have this information on you. Basically, that's what it sounds like. That, you know, I have this information on you that you distributed my video that I didn't even know was there, and I won't go after you for the other charges or the other, you know, things that are listed.
Sherman responded.
Oh man, that went fast. Hold up, because I want to read this. All right, hold up. She goes fast.
Showed over 8 people, videos of me you to people in the studio. Sherman.
Here it is. About want to go against you, the attorney won't go after you for the revenge porn or distribution of a sexual act without consent. That's why I ask you to call me so I don't have to keep writing this. I will make sure that the state does not pick up charges of our charges against you. I also understand that was in 2001, but this was the normal behavior. Oh shit, hold up. But this was the normal behavior, for you guys. But then we women have to deal with the trauma, with the repercussions and the trauma you guys leave us. So they're not reading the whole message. This is why we're reading it here. So then it says, hold up. We have to deal with the repercussions and the trauma you guys leave us with. It sounds like Joseph Sherman responded, I don't know what the F you talking about. know who the F you are. You can sue me. That's what it meant to say. Sue me, shoot me, throw me out the window. You can sue me, shoot me, throw me out the window. She's asking again, do you work for Bad Boy? Did you show a video to people in the studio of Conrad's? That's why I ask you to call me so I can make...
I don't know what the expletive you talking about. Know who the expletive you are. He was still named.
They didn't even scroll anymore down.
In the lawsuit. Was there any video?
Not only was there never a video, I never saw the woman. I'm nothing but a scapegoat for this BS.
Oh, shit.
Because I wouldn't get puffy and lie on Sean Combs.
We reached out to...
Wait a minute. She's intentionally not allowing those messages to be read, and she doesn't think that people will screenshot it. That's right. Interesting, right? Like, she's not reading the whole message. She's only reading... And did she read the whole lawsuit to get the gist of the fact that Talia admitted to have contacted Joseph Sherman about the video? She put that in her lawsuit. We read that like 3 times. Does she know that, or did she not? Like, this is weird. It's weird. It's giving weird. It's giving Joseph Sherman contacted them to try to shape-shift the story. That's what it sounds like to me. If you know what I mean? You say, here's the other problem, Rabbit. If he did do this, then allegedly there could be more women. That's what I'm saying. Like this, which means he might not actually remember her. He might not actually remember her. Maybe that's what the issue is, because there's just so many victims out there, so many women.
Now, to be fair, we all know that groupies and video vixens were alive and well in the 1990s, and mad chicks and dudes were down for the get down, and they were basically chasing rappers all over the place to try to get them in a bed so that they could either have another notch under the belt or potentially trap the rapper into having a baby so that they could also collect some of those hip-hop checks. Yes, that was part of the culture. I mean, some of these chicks were out there spreading their legs like Hellman's mayonnaise. And believe me, they were not victims. I mean, as a matter of fact, some of these chicks were predatory. But that does not mean that every chick that these dudes came in contact with, or every chick that came to the studio, wanted to get down with the get down. Because you also have to remember, in the 90s, there was also a culture where a lot of young men thought that it was a right to grab chicks' cheeks when they walked down the street. They also thought that it was a right to grab a chick out of her car and abuse her at Freaknik. And they also thought that it was okay to just R a chick in the middle of the street and videotape it at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So, I'm saying all of this to say that just because stuff went down in the 90s and some people thought that it was quote unquote okay, doesn't mean that it was legal or right.
It started out as a great walk around in downtown Peachtree. There was a couple of girls to the right of us, and they was dancing on top of a cart. They was dancing, and guys was just grabbing them a little bit, but they couldn't reach them. So then we just was just chilling, watching them dancing. So then we turned around, and this other girl was dancing with some other guy, some guy that was in the crowd. One girl, she got up there, she did dance a little bit. By the time we turned around, it just got ugly. We just saw this girl, then her clothes just ripped off. She was getting mauled. It was like a swarm of bees just attacking her all at one time.
Now, I don't care whether there's 100 women in a room and 99 of them are like 304s that are down for whatever. But there's one girl out of the 100 who's not down with the program. You can't just lump her in with all of the other 304s. So jumping in my comment section talking about, yo, Source, yo, you wildin' out, because mad chicks was getting down like that in the 90s. They was mad grimy. And what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Because for all the girls who were getting down like that in the 90s, there were many more who weren't getting down like that in the 90s. And that reminds me, for the dude who came in my comment section talking about, you changed, now you just dragging any black man down, hashtag enough. How will this commentary affect the black men in your life? Sometimes there's a bigger picture. It's more than just likes and casing. I'm sorry. I'm mad confused, because when in the world did I just go out and pick some random black guy out of a cloud and try to bring him down on my channel? On this channel, we spend a great amount of time building black people up. But when I start doing research on a story and I start finding pictures and videos that look like the episode of Different Strokes when Arnold and Dudley went to the bicycle shop and the shop owner had Dudley in a storage room taking Polaroid pictures, yeah, you best believe we're gonna spend a few minutes peeling back the layers of that onion. So, me jumping on here and asking a few questions about Big Joe is fair game, and I'm gonna tell you why. When R. Kelly was accused of doing what he was doing, R. Kelly didn't do it alone. There were mad people who helped R. Kelly get away with what he was getting away with for years. Just think about it. R. Kelly's illiterate behind most likely couldn't even spell a letter I. So how in the world was he ordering plane tickets to fly chicks out so that he could trap them in a closet? But guess what? There's only one man in jail because nobody ever pursued or looked into some of the people who helped him in his network. So, mad people who helped R. Kelly and abused mad young women are walking free on the streets right now drinking a mocha venti latte from Starbucks. Because a lot of y'all claim to want all of these predators off the streets, but you really don't. Because if you did, and you really wanted to shut down P. Diddy's whole enterprise, you wouldn't have not one problem with me taking 30 minutes on YouTube to play devil's advocate to look into the dude who allegedly helped P. Diddy or some woman in his New York studio. Now, for the person who came in my comment section and was like, yo, Sauce, you ain't proved nothing with this video, so what was the purpose? Who said I was trying to prove anything with the video? Listen, I'm not Kojak, Columbo, Nancy Drew, and this is not an episode of Scooby-Doo. So, it's not my job to prove whether or not Big Joe is innocent or guilty. That is what the police get paid to do. And since Big Joe said that he wasn't in the area when the incident occurred, and he also said that he wasn't working for Diddy, and he also said that he never saw this chick, that should be very easy to prove. Now, with that being said, I don't care whether or not I lose one viewer or 73,000 YouTube viewers. I'm always going to look into and further investigate a dude who may have potentially participated in the abuse of men, women, and children. And if I see something that looks a little skeevy, you better bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to have some questions. Because I'm not the family member that like a kid runs up to and they're like, oh my goodness, auntie, so-and-so did something to me. And I'm like, oh no, that couldn't have happened. Give him a pass. Absolutely not. I'm the family member that's going to roll up on Uncle Jerry. And we going to get to the bottom of what really happened. And if we find out that Uncle Jerry was over there doling out a little bit more than lollipops, Uncle Jerry is going to be in jail. Because just like predators like Diddy have people like his mother advocating on his behalf, victims of actual assault also deserve to have people advocating on their behalf too.
Diddy's mom has finally spoken out amidst everything that is happening right now. Janice Small Combs provided a statement to some outlets via her attorney. So she starts off by saying it's very heartbreaking to see her son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies. And before he has had the opportunity to prove his innocence in pain, is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court, to finally share his side and to prove his innocent. And she says, I'm not here to portray my son as perfect because he is not. He has made mistakes in his past, as we all have. My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when that hotel surveillance showed us otherwise. Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when that truth is outside of the norm or is too complicated to believe, resulting in a ricochet effect as the federal government used this decision against my son by interpreting it as an admission of guilt. She then goes on to talk about the several different allegations that Diddy has right now, accusing him of sexual assault, of the repulsive allegations and grave charges leveled against him. Many individuals who were wrongly convicted and later exonerated had their freedom taken from them, not because they were guilty of any crimes they were accused of, but because they didn't fit the image of what society considers to be a good person. So this is a statement that came out over the weekend, and I mean, it's her son. I didn't expect her to
say anything else.
Not stand with her son.
Mom's gonna always ride with that baby. Yep.
Yeah.
You get sentenced to 100 years for killing 27 million people, and they'll be like, "But that's my baby."
You know that you had heard that his attorney said Diddy's gonna take the stand. I'm just really trying to figure out what is he going to say.
I don't think it's a great idea, and I'm sure his attorneys will try to talk him out of it. You get caught up on talking on the stand. You try to explain too much, so that's why most times attorneys say you just shut that up.
You don't get caught up if you tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? You only get caught up when you lie.
Listen, I don't even know if P. Diddy even knows what the truth is anymore. Because for some people, when they've been lying for so many years, they actually begin to believe their lies. I mean, Diddy lied to us about owning Ciroc. He lied to us about abusing Cassie. He lied to us when he said, I don't own a gun, so I couldn't have possibly pow-powed Natalia Rubin. And he lied to us for mad years when he was out here talking about he produced his own music. So, P. Diddy is most likely going to get up on his stand and lie to us once again. Now, let me get back to Big Joe because we have a Big Joe update. Not only has Big Joe Sherman said that he had nothing to do with the Thalia Graves situation, but now he's saying that this whole entire thing is a setup. And he knows exactly who's setting him up. According to Big Joe, he's being set up and Diddy's being set up by J. Prince.
All right, now the thing about Big Joe is he's very adamant that he is not in it.
He's not going.
You know, some people would be like, "Oh, did a lawyer tell you not to say anything?" He's like, "I don't care. I didn't do it. I'm not there." He has text messages between them. From the text messages, and Mano, you know what it says because you know,
right? The DMs that she sent him.
Basically, it seems like she's trying to confirm that he worked with Puff. And then also confirmed that there was a video shown on a camcorder, she said. So it seems like she's not sure if Big Joe was the person that she's alleging is on this tape. Now, Big Joe called us because, you know, clearly this is something that if you feel that you're being wrongly accused of something, you're going to defend yourself. And here's what he had to say.
Not only did she DM me, she tried to guide me through the DMs, if you read them. She tried to explain to me, all I need you to do is write a statement like Barnes did, like other people did. I need you to write a statement and I'll keep you out. I said, keep me out of what? But then she got into the threats. Then she brought up, well, me and Mr. J. Prince will be down there.
All right, now, I don't know what J. Prince has to do with anything. But you had a question for him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What he got to do with this, though?
It was brought to my attention later on that J. Prince, something I don't know about, had a beef with Puffy about slapping Drake. And Drake was calling J. Prince, going off of him for not taking up for him against Puffy. And I'm like, that's none of my business. Honestly, after listening and people calling me, explaining to me that J. Prince's lawyer is the one who put them 100 people together, I think J. Prince is one of the main culprits behind slandering and trying to destroy Puff's character.
Okay, so let me get this straight. The dude who is upset because he's being wrongfully, allegedly accused by the woman who heard that he had a videotape is now accusing J. Prince of being behind the whole thing because he heard that J. Prince was behind the whole thing. I am done. But to add a little context for everybody out there who doesn't know, J. Prince is basically to Houston what P. Diddy used to be to New York. He's a big-time OG music mogul who has mad pull and power in the music industry. And his son, J. Prince Jr., was actually the person who found and signed Drake. Alright, so let me get this straight in my head. Big Joe is now saying that J. Prince is still salty after the fact, over the fact, that one night back in the day, P. Diddy slapped Drake in a club over a beat, right? They were arguing because Drake used a beat that P. Diddy wanted to use. Well, anyway, J. Prince is so salty at Diddy that he allegedly hired his own attorney to make up 120 false cases against Diddy for assault just so he could get some get back against Diddy for slapping Drake. And somehow, as J. Prince was putting together the Ocean's 11 style blueprint to like get Diddy, he also was like, you know what? Let's go after like Big Joe too. Wow. Listen, I'm just over here scratching my head because I don't even know what to think anymore. Because the craziest thing is that even though it seems as if what Big Joe is saying right now is far-fetched, it's not as far-fetched as you think. Because if you remember, 9 years ago, J. Prince dropped the following message to Diddy, Birdman, Lil Wayne, and Suge over Drake.
Oh, yeah. These niggas in awaken a sleeping giant. So let me put these bully niggas on notice by letting them know Drake is family. And the weak shit from Puffy and Suge is on my radar. First of all, Puffy, feeling like he can put his hands on my family, open the doors for his family to be touched. You reap what you sow. And to Sugar Bear on Lil Wayne's nutsack. Nigga, you know I ride with Drake, so I accept any invitation you wanna bring. I'm your worst nightmare. By the way, Lil Wayne is a his manager is a drunk, and his lawyer is a thief. So fuck all of them together. Disrespectful little punk. And to Baby and Slim, I will not allow it to stay on my track record that Cash Money took anything from me and my son. Do right by me and pay every penny due. I'm not gonna lip wrestle with you niggas, but if any of you clowns cross me or my family, bad news, gonna beat you home. I'm done talking.
Yo, I gotta admit that there's something very scary about a dude who issues a slow-talking threat over a hip-hop beat. Listen, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that it's plausible that Jay Prince is behind this whole thing because he was salty that P.Diddy slapped Drake? I mean, was Jay Prince over there like, you know what? We getting ready to make P.Diddy spend the rest of his life in jail. Why? Because he put his paws on my baby Drake. And y'all know darns well, I don't let nobody put their hands on my light-skinned, corn-rolled, baby beret-wearing Canadian baby Drake. Let me know in the comments. Now, after Big Joe called into the Angela Yee podcast and alleged that Jay Prince is behind this whole thing, Jay Prince jumped online and he wrote, "Always value your freedom and peace over people's lying opinions." Oh my goodness, let me tell you something. This whole thing right here is spiraling out of control with the quickness. Listen, let me know what you think about Big Joe grabbing tushes and sniffing fingers in the club. Also, let me know what you think about Big Joe being in a Like Whoa video in 2000, even though he said that he stopped working for Diddy in 1999. Thalia Graves acknowledging in the text that she sent to Big Joe that the news reporter seemed to scroll past real fast, that she understands that hookup culture with groupies was part of the norm and culture at Bad Boy back in the day. Diddy's mom saying, "My baby ain't perfect, but y'all out here trying to lynch my baby." Big Joe claiming that Jay Prince is the mastermind behind this whole thing, and he is actually trying to take down Diddy and Big Joe because he's still salty that Diddy once slapped Drake in the club, and Jay Prince Jr. issuing a hip-hop threat to Diddy about 9 years ago over a beat where he was like, "You cuff with my family, I'ma cuff with yours." Listen, let me know what you think about all that in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.